Let's get it on!
Sprawl and brawl, ground and pound. Get ready for an MMA showdown. Now, the ultimate Octagon Insider, Sean and Tristan Ducross.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ducross Brothers Sports Warriors. I'm Tristan Ducross. Along my side, as always, is my brother, Sean Ducross. We have an incredible show for you guys tonight, but as I have posted at the beginning, getting the word out there, thank you to everybody that's tuning into us. This is a very important topic to us, and we don't normally do this. So let me take a minute and kind of regroup and focus a little bit here for a second.
I don't think that you need to regroup and focus. I think if you're okay with it,
then you're going to be okay with it?
I think that it's going to be better with me talking than it is with you talking, if that makes sense.
Okay. I will chime in when I can chime in then.
That's fine.
Okay. So I'm going to set it up and you take it.
Okay.
Okay. So within the last 24 hours, I don't know if a lot of people has been paying attention to the world that we live in right now. In combat sports, in sports in general. There's been a lot of things that has been hitting very close to home. And for a moment and a brief second in time, I'm going to be vulnerable to you guys. I'm going to transition away and give it to my brother because this is very sensitive to me. So I don't know exactly how I could handle this. That's why I have my brother, and I'm thankful that I have him with me during this time because it's very, very tough. Is the aspect of mental health. And in the last couple of, like I said, 24 hours, there's been a handful of people that has taken a time of absence and was able to ask for help. And at this point in time, because I cannot go on because I can already start feeling it, is that I'm going to defer to my brother so he can discuss about this topic a little bit, and I will chime in when I can chime in. Yeah, nope, can't do it. So yeah, Sean, I'm going to defer to you. You can handle it.
Share this to everybody as I take over and I talk about this for what I think it's 10 minutes. So this morning I was discussing with my wife about mental health, about changes and depression and anxiety and everything that it takes for an individual to walk this earth in a fighting manner, in a cool manner. And it was one of those things that I can reflect on multiple different levels than a lot of others can relate to this situation on mental health. You're either going to turn us off or you're going to listen to us greatly in this moment. And it was funny
because at first, before we get into what this is about, let's kind of throw out some names out there that why this is hit a little bit close to home.
Jon Moxley, Tony Khan, announced that Jon Moxley has entered rehab. And he has announced that he has a substance abuse. We have talked about on our Facebook, on our social media, that Carey Price has stepped away to deal with mental health. Last year, Jonathan Drouin stepped away for mental health. AJ Styles has reportedly stepped away due to what we assume is mental health because it's not a medical injury.
Issue. Calvin Ridley of the Atlanta Falcons have stepped away from football
due to mental health.
So Bray Wyatt allegedly has had mental health and has stepped away.
So today was a reflection of the moment of strength in which some people desperately need in this world. And I've seen it 3 different ways. And that's why I speak for Tristan, for myself, and for probably countless others. Because I've had the ability to see it from 3 different ways. And my wife so pointed it out to me this morning. As I was driving to take my daughter to her appointments today, and I was reflecting on Jon Moxley and how we got here with Jon Moxley, I reflected on my own situation, on Tristan's situation, on my sister-in-law's situation. To put this in perspective of how I got here is number of times about a decade ago when I first started dating my wife, and her sister Tori would go through these ups and downs and these highs and lows. And at that time, I'd straight up tell my wife, like, dude, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't, I don't understand it. It's weird. Or whatever I may have said during that time. Then I started to see my own brother go through his own ups and downs and uncertainty of what exactly does he feel or what exactly does he go through. At that point in time, I still didn't entirely understand what this dynamic was. Then when I lost my mother, it became a time of, wow, I feel the sadness. I feel the anger. I feel the anxiety. I go back and I watch what my sister-in-law Tori did or how she reacted, or I watch and listen to how my brother reacted and how he didn't know how to convey his own messages or his own truths. And it became in those moments that I realized that mental health, mental anguish, or anything of that nature manifests is vastly different among every individual that is out there. Whether it be just an average Joe, whether it be a wrestler, or whether it be an athlete. Mental anguish is not something to shy away from or to avoid. But yet for a decade, it's always been frowned upon as what my wife liked to classify as taboo. How dare you talk about it? How dare you admit weakness? How dare you not be able to control your emotions? But really, that was just a stigma that this world has put on people for what was classified as not being strong. But you know what? The people that go through mental anguish, anxiety, anger, whatever it may be, that is strength every day to get up and walk through those curtains, walk through those doors, walk into work every day knowing that you're battling something that's much deeper and much stronger than many people will ever know or ever understand. So I sat there and was thinking to myself, how did Jon Moxley get here? It could be vastly different things. It could be the simple fact that how does one cope with being a father for the first time and being away from his daughter for so long and putting his body through mental and struggle through everything and going back into something that was an addiction of the car crashes that he would put his body through in a CZW or any other little promotion that he did. There could be a combination of things of how Jon Moxley got here. The fact that he went and sought help is bravo, Jon Moxley. The fact that Tristan went and got help, bravo, Tristan. The fact that Carey Price went and got help. The fact that everybody else is starting to take time to go get help, I applaud you in this time. And it was funny that I was sitting there and I was listening to CM Punk, or better known tonight as Phil Brooks. Told everybody, don't call him CM Punk. You knew what he was referencing in that moment. And you know what? He took a little bit of me away in that moment. Because that's what I had for you. This is no longer taboo. Mental health is no longer a weakness or frowned upon. This is a movement that needs to be made to the masses. And I'm looking dead in the camera because at some point, stop being the bully, be the supporter. Be the ones that are there to help the ones that need support. Some people can't stomach the fight. So those people need help. So ask for help. You don't have to be scared anymore that others are going to judge you or put you down for you being weak, because you're not weak. You're stronger than 90%. You're stronger than more people, because the fact that you can wake up every day, go to work, be a husband, be a wife, whoever you are, the fact that you can get up every day and walk on this earth, that's more than some other people can say. So newsflash, this ain't taboo. Mental health is as real as it gets. This was my moment, my time to let the truth out and to speak up for those that hurt, the people that feel vulnerable, the people that feel weak. You're not weak. You're not alone. I stand with you. My brother stands with you. My family stands with you. So if you are out there and you're watching us tonight and you feel weak, you're unsure about what the next day brings to you, you battle anxiety, you battle depression, you battle something. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you are. I don't care if this doesn't get out to anybody. But if it does reach you and you feel vulnerable and you feel weak in that moment, reach out. Reach out to us. We'll listen. We'll be there. We'll be your supporters. For that, we'll go to break. As we are the Ducross Brothers, we're here. You don't stand alone.
We are the Ducross Brothers Sports Warriors. Sean and Tristan Ducross every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We step inside the Warriors' den. We come at you with hot topics with pro wrestling from AEW, WWE, Impact Wrestling, MLW. We got UFC, Bellator Talk, ONE FC, Muay Thai, you name it. If it's a hot topic, we'll give you our take on it. Tune in to us every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Twitch.tv. Welcome back, everybody. Cross that line with us every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are the Ducross Brothers. Shout outs to our sponsors, I Love Auntie. Go to iloveauntie.com for all your CBD needs like muscle rub, the textures, the gummies, you name it. Use promo code the Ducross Bros and you can save yourself 10%. ESPN Plus, go to our Facebook, the Ducross Bros, and get a subscription break. So, as you guys just heard, at the top of the show, mental health is a big force and a big topic. I, for one, listening to my brother talk about it, kind of caught myself in a whirlwind, and most of you people could probably see my reaction is that, love you, brother. That made me a little bit teary-eyed and a little bit emotional. So,
well, that's what I said. I'm often, not necessarily not to put you down, but I'm often a little bit of a better speaker and can analyze things a little bit better intellectually than you can, because you're more right in the face a little bit. And I felt like that it needed to be put into perspective a little bit more. So it was my pleasure to do that It needed.
I watched the CM Punk thing, and that's what got me, and that's why like I was thinking, and I've been very closed off to this aspect and to allow people kind of into my world and into my domain a little bit. For you to say it on behalf of me, I appreciate it because
well, it's not Tristan, it's not just you. No. Yes, you've battled it longer, and I say you battled it longer because I have my share of my own demons since mom passed.
Yes, but mine's been beyond that.
Correct. So you're not alone. I've never thought that I'd ever enter that world of my own. So that's why I've been able to see it from different things. And talking to Fallon today about everything,
kind of put everything in a nutshell, eh?
Yeah, that was everything that was going on in my head. It's like I have to be the one to talk about it. I had to be the one to do it because I saw it from every angle, from Tori to you to me. I mean, you could even say that when Fallon had the kids to go through the changes in the hormones and everything else like that. To see her, what her mom goes through. I mean, the list is endless. The list is endless. The variations.
But we need now
endless.
More than ever to accept that it's okay to ask for help. And you're seeing it now that we saw 5 people today in about a 24, 40-hour span that has come out and tapped out.
And tapping out is not a bad thing, folks. Right. Tapping out is realizing in
that
the
you
moment,
can no longer fight this by yourself. It is vastly bigger. It is so much stronger than you could ever imagine. Sometimes you have no control over it. And you got to bite down like on a mouth guard and accept it. And it's kind of what we're looking at right now when we transition away and we go into the UFC, the huge main fight card that's coming on, right? This Saturday?
Yeah.
You got Usman and Kamara. You got Kamara Usman versus Covington 2. Nama Nunez versus Wiley 2. You have Gaethje and Chandler. Everything comes up to this point. Usman, Covington 2. We're going to transition now away from the mental health talk. Just know we are there. Pick up your phone, your Twitter machine, your Facebook. I don't care. Talk to us. Slide in my DMs. You can talk to us.
Don't say slide in your DMs. That's just weird.
You can still say it. But that's a huge topic, and it needed to be addressed.
Absolutely.
And only the ducross brothers are not afraid to touch on any subject. Good, bad, or indifferent. You're going to get something different when you tune into us. So, I can't remember the last time a fight card was this big for UFC.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Since the pandemic, right?
Yeah, probably.
Pre-pandemic, there's been a couple. Post-pandemic, it's been about abysmal at best. And when I look at Usman and Covington 2, I think that there's nobody better to face off in this fight outside of those two. And I say that because when you look at the fighters that are currently ranked, Usman has beat them, period. And pretty much convincingly, right? You would say so?
Yeah.
The knockouts of Masvidal, the knockout of Burns, that was huge. That set the tempo. This guy is hitting another gear. You could say that he's better than GSP because GSP kind of hung on his wins, kind of where he was Huggy Bear. Now you get to look at a guy like Kamaru Usman, who has a legit knockout power, finishing power. A little bit more exciting than GSP, and I'm a huge GSP fan. He's in the Hall of Fame, one of the greatest. I'll say it. Kamaru Usman is slowly climbing those ranks to get into that conversation talk, wouldn't you say? Covington talks himself into fights.
And considering that the guy lost to Jorge Masvidal and we're still talking that he's in this title fight, what's interesting is what type of Covington are we going to get? Because he's no longer with America Top Team. He has since moved to Masters MMA in Florida. So, is he the same fighter? Will he be more calm in that octagon? Will he be not as aggressive and more or less try to be patient in this fight compared to the last one? Because in the last one, Usman and Covington, they went to war for 5 rounds before Usman knocked him out or TKO. So, do we see this fight ending the same way? Do we see this fight a little bit different? Look, and part of me thinks like, I was trying to think like, okay, we're probably going to have Usman have his hand raised. But then a part of me is like, wait a second. No, I don't want him. I actually, in a weird way, I want Colby Covington. Yes, I was battling me last night.
You are a little warm.
I was battling myself. Like my gut was telling me I'm going to go with Covington.
Why would you go with Covington? Do you think the change in possible camps is what's leading to maybe a change in game plan against Kamaru Usman?
And I just want to, I just want to see if he's really the people's champ. And the people's champ would do, as he says, anything that the people want him to do. Or he will simply do whatever Daddy Dana wants. If that's the case, then we got a world-class champion here that will take on any comers and be exciting for the sport.
More so than Usman?
Yes. Usman doesn't necessarily always want to fight the best.
That's true.
He does. That's just my feeling. I don't think he often wants to fight the cream of the crop.
The cream of the crop always rises to the top, brother.
So that's why I from a guy that does his show, that's where I'm going.
So if you got Covington, right?
Yes.
I still think Usman has the better fighter's chance to get it. But again, we're talking about combat sports and anything can happen on any given night, okay? If Usman wins, I think there's only 1 to 2 fights that you could possibly make for him, which is Leon Edwards if he gets past his fight.
Yes.
Or Chimenov, who just won. Because you can't run it back with Gilbert Burns because Burns got knocked out last time.
Right.
You can't run it back with Masvidal because he's lost twice.
Right.
So those two are automatically wiped out. I think the only way that Burns gets a possible shot at the title is if Covington wins. Because Covington's never faced Gilbert Burns.
Right.
So even Gilbert Burns is slotted higher. Supposed to be that next guy in line, won't get the next guy in line status if Usman wins. Because we've seen it, been there, done that. If Covington wins, Gilbert Burns is sitting right there, sitting nice and pretty, ahead of Chimenov and possibly Leon Edwards.
See, and you got Chimenov, and everybody's like, oh, he should be the next one in line.
It's funny. Ain't nobody ever talked about this guy till his last
Colby
fight.
brought up a very valid point in his presser, Tristan.
Yeah.
Why we talk about this guy being the top of the food chain or potentially the next in line when this is the guy that said he was going to retire because he got sick, because he got COVID.
And he's lucky that we did not test his body for 5 rounds. I'm calling that into question too because we know COVID takes some lung capacity.
Right.
We didn't get to see Chimenov's cardio at all during this fight. So that's still a question mark, is it not?
Yeah.
So there's still question marks about the health of actual Chimenov. There's still question marks about him.
But he's got to put more on his resume than thinking he's top of the food chain. But in the main event, I'm going Colby Covington.
No. Usman. Usman, I'm going Usman.
I guess when we come back on the show next week, we'll find out who was right and who was wrong. Because
Right.
you were right last week in Glover Teixeira walking away as the world champion now.
I called it. Go Glover.
If Colby wins it, they need to run it back. It's true.
It's possible.
It's going to be It's going to be the next Diaz versus Conor McGregor again.
That's true. I guess you would have to.
But I mean, it's the state where we're at with the division.
Rinse and repeat.
There's a lot of question marks. It's just like we're seeing Rose Namajunas versus Weili Zhang 2.
Okay, that had to be run back. That had to.
She got dismantled in the first round, in 20-something
Look.
seconds. And she's like, no, it was a fluke.
Yes, and now
Rose
she's
is
been
like-
trading with
and Rose
Henry
is like,
Cejudo.
I'll do it again. Rose is like, I'll do it again. So if Rose does it again,
Yes,
back to the line.
I agree, 100%. If Rose could destroy Whaley again, right, convincingly, right, back to the line. But we know Rose, what we touched back on earlier, her mind has never really been 100% invested in the fight game in this way with the championship mentality. So here we are, a fighter that hopefully that mind switch has clicked over and she can do what she knows how to do and finish this fight strong and end all dispute about her being a legit champion. So when we look at this, this is where we are at right now. Completely different story in terms of what we're seeing right now. So who do you got? Rose or Weili Zhang?
I've always been a fan of Rose. I think she's been underrated at certain times in her career.
But what version are we getting?
Same Rose we got last time.
You think she's 100% dialed in?
If Rose doesn't end the fight again in the first round, she puts a beating on Zhang all over again, but it goes for maybe 3 rounds of the beating. But either way, Rose walks away as the champion again. And then we're back to square one, figuring about who's next for Rose Namajunas.
Could be Carla. Could be. But
Carla's not an interesting... And I'm assuming you and in the chat room, Carla Esperanza is, I'm assuming, who you two are both referencing. Yes. My problem with that is, Carla, there's a disconnect. She's a good wrestler, but she's not somebody that brings you to the dance. She's not going to be somebody that you're going to get like a co-main event on a super card like this.
Oh, that's true.
She's going to be somebody that probably main events with Rose on an ESPN Plus card. But not on a not on a super card like this. No offense, but just saying. She's solid at what she does.
And the final third main event on this card, and that's what I'm saying. Because Usman won main event, absolutely. Rose, Weili Zhang, main event, absolutely. Then the most anticipated fight of the year.
The fact that they're not even third on the card towards the end. They're not the co-main event to the co-main event to the main event. They're the first fight of the night.
Yep.
This is like putting a wrestling card together.
Yes.
You start the card here, and then good luck trying to catch up. Because you're starting UFC 268 Saturday night.
With the fight of the night candidate.
And Michael Chandler.
Woo!
You stupid. Like Dana. Dana, what are you doing? Why would you do that? You should just chow down and bring in the money.
This is going to be an absolute war. War.
My note simply just says, fire. It's going to be straight fire. I wrote you're throwing logs and a match,
bro,
in the gasoline.
What did I write? Fight of the night.
Same here.
Slept. Because somebody's going to.
I said somebody's going night-night.
Okay. Somebody could go to sleep.
Somebody going night-night.
KO of the night.
Somebody going night-night.
Stand and bang warfare.
Yes.
This could be the Rory McDonald versus Robbie Lawler type situation.
And somebody ain't coming out the same.
No.
But here's the thing. If Michael Chandler loses this, that's 2 in a row.
Yes. But he has the Dana White privilege.
Or as Michael Chandler said, well, Justin Gaethje, you have some of that Dana White privilege too.
Yes. 100%. Both of them do. They both came in with a holier than thou attitude. They both got gimme title shots.
Here's a comparison. This fight could be World Series of Fighting version of Luis Palomino versus Justin Gaethje.
That's a good call.
That's what this fight could turn into. And I hope that Justin Gaethje brings his leg kicks back. Because I don't think the UFC fans have entirely seen the vicious leg kicks that Justin Gaethje brings to the table. I don't think anybody's seen that yet.
This is true.
They've seen the
highlight reel,
the ferociousness of Justin Gaethje. They've seen that. They've seen his striking, but I don't think they've entirely seen how bad his kicks are. Like, bro, like fans, he got some bad kicks.
That is very true.
He lights your leg up like a Christmas tree and turn it like a tomato. He'll make your leg look like a cheese grater. He'll make your leg look like you got chicken pox.
So who do you got out of this fight? Who you running with?
Justin Gaethje.
You going Gaethje?
I go Gaethje every day. He might ride and die. Just like when I go with my NFL Pick'em League at work, I go Browns all day. I go Bengals all day. Those are my ride and die.
Wait, you have a Pick'em League at your work?
Oh, yeah. And I ride and die with the Cincinnati Bengals because of Joe Burrow and my boy Jamar Chase all day. Then I ride and die with the Cleveland Browns because of Baker Mayfield, OBJ. Shoot.
You heard that OBJ is no longer on the team, right?
But that's cool. I got Landry still. I'm all good. Kareem Hunt
on the IR.
Nick Chubb, but still my ride and dies.
Myles Garrett.
Grady Williams. Let's go. Let's go. They're my ride and dies. Justin Gaethje, you're my ride and die. And
have you even won anything on your Pick'em League?
Oh, yeah. I'm number 1 on the food chain.
I want proof.
I got like 80-something wins.
I want proof.
I want proof.
Because you suck at fantasy.
Yeah, I suck at fantasy, but I don't suck at picking who wins.
Oh, that reminds me. Stand up. So as you guys can see, our sponsored fighter, Shania Payne Carlson. Thank you for the shout out and for the shirt. Appreciate it. Sean, turn around. You have to turn around. I just want to prove that we're sponsoring fighters. Yes, I know you are old, but look. No. Stand back up, boy. Look, right here. Come here. I'm going to turn you. Right here. See? Right here. So shout out to Keon MMA. Shout out to CSW. Shout out to all the boys that helped Shania. She is going to be one of the premier athletes of the women division. She's going to grow quickly.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Woman that I was looking forward to trying to sponsor this one, but we couldn't. But shout out to Nadine. Nadine's fighting next week on LFA.
Yep.
So looking forward to seeing her just show off her stuff because, I mean, dude, you don't know who Nadine is. She's a
time to start stringing some wins together. She can do it.
Right.
Nadine can do it. Sarah Shields signed a contract, another sponsored fighter.
Hopefully I could still say her last name, but Nadine Manuel, I believe, if I remember right.
If that's correct, she could tag herself.
Or she's going to kill me, one of the two.
Yep. Sean butchered her last name. But Eric Shields also signed a contract. He's another sponsored fighter of the Ducross brothers. So he's going to. Josh Marr, we have yet to sponsor him. We really should. He's been our, as you would say, he's been our ride or die since day one. But Fightbook MMA got him covered for this fight camp. He has a fight coming up November 20th. So be on the lookout for Josh Marr. We're probably going to have to get him on our show. He could be the guinea pig for our call-in situation here, so we can start bringing on some fighters to join the brothers in the Warriors Den. It'll be amazing to get some of these fighters back in the Warriors Den and join us to discuss their upcoming fights and what they've been up to. In the meantime, we're going to go to a break and come back out. We got boxing talk. Oh, the swear circle's just getting heated up. More with the Ducross brothers right after this.
We are the Ducross Brothers, the Sports Warriors, here on Twitch.tv. Every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here. We love to talk about wrestling, combat sports, anything else in between the squared circle, octagon, whatever it may be. We are your boys. We're bringing you talk the way that it needs to be done, the way nobody else does it but your brothers.
Sup, people?
It was funny. I got to chill, and I looked weird. I got to chill. I got to chill.
How did you look weird by getting to chill?
Because I got to chill, and I went, bleh. And then I watched it. I was like, oh, no. It was like I was having a mini seizure on the camera. I was like, oh, no.
Good job.
Could it be worse?
Proud of you. So if you guys are tuning in to us tonight, appreciate the love and reaching out. Appreciate it. Follow us right here on Twitch. Stay up to date with us. This is our platform right now where we're planning to stay and grow. So I just like this platform a little bit better out of everywhere we've been. It's just been a little bit nicer and easier to work with and chat with our fans. So Striker Scar, thank you for tuning in. Chatting 46, thank you for tuning in.
Give us a follow.
Right, give us a follow. Follow us.
Share us.
Yeah,
get it
share
out
us.
there to everybody.
100%. Share your love. We're something new, something different every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Give a shout out to our sponsors.
Yep. I Love Auntie, #1 sponsor for the Ducross Brothers. Go to iloveauntie.com. Use promo code TheDucrossBros and save 10% off of all your CBD needs. They got you covered. From textures to gummies to CBD rub, they got you covered. So if you're a fighter, you're going through those long work camps,
Get the muscle rub.
get the muscle rub, get the gummies, sleep good at night. In the meantime, Sean and Tristan Ducross right here, cross that line in the Warriors Den. Speaking about stepping inside the Warriors Den, we actually got a Jake Paul versus a legit boxer. Kind of.
And didn't I tell you? So December 18th, it's going down.
We
Jake
announced
Paul
it
versus
before
Tommy
it was
Fury.
announced.
True. But it's evenly matched 4-0 for 7-0 at 192 pounds. The interesting thing about this one, Tristan, is the fact that so Jake Paul is an actor turn whatever turn boxer, social media person, blah blah blah, all that other shenanigans, right?
Right.
Did you know Tommy Fury's no different?
Yeah, I found out he was on Love Island.
Right.
What the hell?
Right.
What did I miss?
So y'all want to knock this guy, Jake Paul, for going into boxing.
And they're like, oh, face Tommy Fury, he's a legit boxer. And then you do a deep dive
into Tommy Fury.
and he's no different.
Like, what? And the fact that allegedly, because again, I'll believe it when I see it, because the Tyrone Woodley thing didn't allegedly happen either. But Tommy Fury agreed that if he loses, his last name is no longer Fury.
No, he has two options.
Yes. Yes. But
Two
if you look-
bizarre clauses in this.
So if Jake Paul wins,
He has to do one of these two things.
Tommy Fury has to legally change his name to Tommy Fumbles, or give him $500,000 of his purse,
Bro,
And but that's the report. The official report is that Tommy Fury has elected to sign on the dotted line that if he loses, he will legally change his name. He did not want to give up the money, and Jake Paul says, "Wow, this guy loves more money than his own name." I mean, I get that if I beat him, the Furies are going to disown him altogether.
So might as well give up his name altogether.
I guess, but dang.
Bro, Tyrone Woodley has a I love
Allegedly.
Jake Paul tattoo.
I'll believe it when I
Right.
really see it in person. Just like I'll believe it that if Tommy Fury loses, that he legally changes his name.
But
to Tommy
Tyson Fury's
Fumbles.
going to be in the corner of Tommy Fury. You don't think that Tyson's going to be like, dude, you better go knock him out. You better end this fight because that's my name on the line too. Right? Isn't that fair to say?
It is.
Tyson Fury in the corner of Tommy Fury. This fight will be vastly different than any other fight.
It is. And I hope that, like I said last week, that Tommy Fury finishes his fight. It's going to be an 8-round fight in Florida, December 18th on Showtime. For Tommy Fury's sake, he's got way more to lose than Jake Paul.
Sure.
And
And
if Jake Paul wins this, again, we're back here the next day with me saying, Tristan, I told you so.
Sean, but
I told
also
you so.
something about these
Give
contract
up my
clauses.
song.
Yes.
Told you so.
Something else that bugs me about this is that we've heard about the Tyrone Woodley fight, that Tyrone Woodley was not allowed to knock out Jake Paul. But it's like he said, she said, right? Because if you say that's in the contract, then damn it, let it out.
Let it be known.
Because post that stuff and let people know that, hey, this Jake Paul stuff is basically a fraud.
Right.
Because it's carried towards him.
Not necessarily.
If you
Because
can't
can
knock
still-
him out.
No, because you can still point box. If
That
you
is very
can't
true.
out point box a non-legitimate boxer,
Jake Paul.
we got further issues. So this whole thing about you can't knock out a Paul brother is really obsolete to me.
Because you couldn't box Jake Paul.
Exactly. So
I don't know
stop
what
with
Tyrone
this-
Woodley's trying to get out of this.
So stop this whole shenanigans of, oh, we can't knock out a Paul brother. Like, who cares? You can still outbox him,
right,
bro.
and you couldn't do that.
Like, what?
So now Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul, you got, again, I'm just going to do this, air quotes, alleged boxers, Jake Paul, Tommy Fury.
Right.
Who do you got out of these two December 18th? Because I feel like this fight's going to come up way quicker than I thought.
I have to just simply go with Tommy Fury for the sake that he's got everything to lose. Jake Paul's got nothing to lose, but everything to continue to gain in this world oddity that he's creating for boxing.
That's a good word. The oddity of boxing. Because that's where we're at right now. It's becoming a weird situation within boxing.
But what's
Because
weird-
you can't not talk about it.
right.
You can't push it aside underneath the carpet because it's
No
happening.
matter how
in
much
the-
you tried to do the last time when he fought Woodley.
Because it's now this is an actual what I've been kind of pushing for.
And I told you it would happen. I told you, and you said, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. I told you it was going to happen. We're here. We're in this moment. All it was a prelude to get to this
I do
point.
like it's a fair fight on paper.
Right.
I like the fact that we are,
And a legit boxer that legitimately trained
yes,
in boxing has a legit amateur boxing background. Yeah. This has a chance to be fun. But if Jake Paul wins,
the internet's going to break like Kim Kardashian's dropped her tape.
Right. And I'm going to be back on. I told you so.
This is going to be bad for the internet fans.
Somebody needs to cue up the Kanye West, that song about the cold or whatever, the song that he had years ago. Forgot what the name of the song was. But clearly when I say, I told you so, kind of has that vibe to that song. I told you so. So it's like, I kind of dig it. But what's going to be interesting is also, again, this fight week, what fight are you going to? Did you find the name of the song?
No.
Really?
I'll take a look.
But what's going down on this weekend, too, again, is Canelo versus Caleb Plant. I almost forgot that this fight was happening this weekend. So you're going to have Canelo versus Caleb Plant, and you're going to have the biggest UFC card. What are y'all buying? What fight card are you watching? I know I'm probably streaming both.
That's bad to announce.
I'm just saying.
They could find you.
Not if I don't do it.
Canelo and Plant, again, much like I said last time, was that Uragas could win the title. He could win. I think Caleb Plant has a shot at dethroning Canelo because one of two things. This guy is definitely not afraid to stand there and push the fight.
Yes and no.
If you're thinking about taking the title and handing it over to Canelo like a good portion of the fighters have,
Tristan, he made Billy Joe Saunders quit on the stool.
exactly, because Billy Joe Saunders is Billy Joe Saunders. He's had issues with his eyes, with his heart, with everything that led up to this fight. When you're getting outworked, he quit. That's what Joe Saunders did. He quit. He quit on the stool, handed over everything. Most of the fighters that Canelo has faced give up over time.
Because
I don't see Plant giving up over time.
I hope that this is different than the Billy Joe Saunders fight, because I do like Caleb Plant, and he has a lot going for him in the future. But this is, again, a drastic step up in competition.
That is very true.
Canelo seemingly is getting better, stronger,
This is
faster, becoming more of a defensive boxer too than he ever
It's
was.
the meat from Mexico.
He has gone a different route than what I think many people anticipated, as becoming a more well-rounded boxer for the first time in his career. And that's the scary thing going forward for Caleb. That if Caleb, even on paper, at 21 wins, 21-0, versus a guy who has 56 wins, that alone is like, bro, you just went from the little leagues
to the big leagues.
Big leagues.
And something I wrote here, Shawnee,
You went from single A ball straight to Major League Baseball.
Yes.
And skipped everything else in between.
The fact that you're saying that brings me to the name that I have written down right here. Caleb Plant is a
junkyard dog.
He could be nasty and combative when inside that squared circle.
Well, that's what we saw in his presser with Canelo.
And then he got cut underneath his eye. Pay attention to that.
Right. But that was the thing, was like in that presser, he got underneath Canelo's skin. When was the last time you saw anybody get underneath Canelo's skin?
So what did this scuffle benefit? Who did it benefit?
Right.
Is it more along the junkyard dog side in Caleb Plant? Because he's the first known fighter that we have seen that has finally kind of triggered something in Canelo?
Right. The fact that he physically called everybody, Canelo and his whole team, glorified cheaters. And Canelo did not like that.
Sean, so he had tainted meat.
So if you look back now and we go Saturday, has Canelo forgive and forgotten? Or is Canelo going to come in and that first 5 minutes of that fight?
Try to take his head off.
Right. That's going to be something.
But does that
interesting to
aggression
watch.
play into the fact of Caleb Plant's kind of game plan?
It does. If that Caleb can sit back, use his footwork, use his angles, stay in the pocket, and be able to take the power from Canelo.
Then we would have a different outcome.
It's really hard for me to go against Canelo
Absolutely. All day.
because
But man, I'm telling you, if you guys can do it, Plant may be the guy.
so you think on Saturday night
I think
we
Plant
could see it,
pulls
another
a
legend winner?
Yugas and he becomes the WBA, the WBC,
I
the
hope
WBO
you're-
super middleweight, and the world of boxing as we know it is shattered.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Because
Could you imagine?
I like what I see in Caleb.
Could you imagine, Sean? Canelo loses.
Could you imagine on Saturday night and new UFC champion Colby Covington and
The new WBA, WBC, WBO super middleweight champion, Caleb Plant. Woo! This combat world
Saturday
will
night
be
is gonna be sexy.
this combat world will be dropped on his head and they will suffer the concussion. And then everybody in the combat world will have mental health issues.
Saturday gonna be sexy.
They're going to have to check into rehab.
Saturday gonna be sexy.
Yes. I can't think of the last time on a Saturday that not only do you have the biggest fight card from UFC at 268, right?
You're going up against Canelo.
You're going up against Canelo and Caleb Plant. And also, do not forget, we have AEW Full Gear.
Yeah, the 13th next week.
Next week, yes.
Yeah. Thank goodness it wasn't
Saturdays
on
are literally stacked
this.
from here on out.
Thank goodness that it wasn't on this Saturday.
Oh, God.
But that's interesting you bring that up because WWE just released their list of their pay-per-views.
Yeah.
They're going all Saturdays.
Shocking.
Instead of doing Sundays, they're going to do all Saturdays because on some Sundays, when they put on their cards, it falls into a Monday night.
Yes.
So they're moving all their cards in 2022 to Saturdays. So now WWE is going to go up against AEW on Saturdays,
UFC,
boxing.
Bellator.
All right. Bellator 270 is coming. It's going down on Friday this week, though. And I think it's Patricky Pitbull fighting this weekend.
Yep.
And
I like that fight because I like the fact that his brother released the title to allow his brother to get a title shot. Basically, I take a bullet for you, buddy.
right. I love you, man.
I love you,
I
man.
really do.
Take the title.
Here's your chance.
Here's your shot.
And then watch, he's going to let him down.
Oh, my. Really?
Yeah.
You don't think he's going to win?
No.
No. You hear it here first. Sean doesn't think a Pitbull brother's walking out with the title.
No.
Okay. But that's about it for the show tonight. So,
No real wrestling talk tonight. So
Miro
wrestling-
versus Bryan Danielson for the title eliminator.
That's what we got coming because we know Miro's going to beat up on Orange Cassidy.
CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston.
Oh, on Friday.
Oh, that's going to be good. But no, Eddie Kingston will be on Friday to talk face-to-face with CM Punk.
We'll see how that goes.
Oh, dude. Is this mic on? Because that's going to be a hot mic.
Right.
Those guys, that's one thing I'm liking about AEW. Let these guys be them. If they hate each other, they hate each other. If they have like real life heat from back in the day or whatever, Let them be them. Like, I'm all good with it. So it'd be interesting to see how that plays out. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for allowing us to be real and vulnerable for a minute. Really do appreciate it. In the meantime, we'll catch you later.
Let's get it on! Sprawl and brawl, ground and pound. Get ready for an MMA showdown. Now, the ultimate Octagon Insider, Sean and Tristan Ducross.